Today we're going to talk about how to add fabric for the clothes and then hair if you need that as well. Here's one that I already have. I knew his head wasn't going to be showing, so it's kind of a mess, but I just wanted to show you a little bit with his hair. And this is our model. She'll be in the classroom if you need to see her. Half of it is done, and I left half undone so you could kind of get an idea of what we did. I'd recommend that you start with the arms so that we can cover each end. And what we're going to do is just fold the edges over and use hot glue to connect them. So I'm going to show you right in here first. For her sleeve, I just had a rectangle piece of fabric. I glued it actually to her arm, wrapped it around, and then glued it on this side. And then I just cut off what I didn't need. Then for her top, we made a little vest. And I just made a slit for where her neck was going to be, and I just folded it under like that. And where her sleeve seam was going to be, I just folded that under as well. And we have it tucked underneath her arm right here, and it's folded over so it's all glued right there. For her skirt, I took another piece of fabric, pulled that down, and glued it right here so that when I folded this down, it looked like it had a seam right there as well. Okay, and then it would just meet up in the back. And I took like two little cuts right here so I could fold that underneath and it would go around a little bit better, so I had more fabric to pull around so I could attach that as well. So it's okay if it's kind of a mess in the back a little bit. That's not what we're super concerned with. We want to make sure that the front looks good. So I have Shaggy over here. He was started, and I did the same thing with him. I wanted his shirt a little bit baggier. So I took the fabric, I'm going to show you on this one. I folded the outside over, and I've already hot glued that together. I grabbed a highlighter because that's about the size I wanted, a little bit bigger than his arm. And then I'll just measure that over and make sure it's kind of close to the same size as the other. Might even use that clip to hold it there for a second. Oops. And you can find, if you want to do this, you can find something else that'll work for you too. So I'm just going to fold it over like that and leave that hanging. With the hot glue, you'll want to work kind of quickly because it does dry fast. And if you had any extra fabric on there that you wanted to trim off, you can do that after you've glued it on. I'm going to go ahead and put Shaggy together. So you're welcome to watch that if you would like. I made his sleeve. And then I also have the cutout. I was going to show you that before I get to there. So I just had a rectangle. I measured it out because I wanted it to be longer because his shirt's going to hang over his pants. So I folded that under, and I've already glued it. I made a cut down here, and I folded it under so he has like a V-neck shirt on over here. So made sure that that would be there. And this cut is where his sleeve and his arm are. So I can fold that over and be somewhere like that. For the pants, I'll show you that quick before I put him together. I had a piece and I folded it under. For the pants, I just made a cut here, and I made it kind of longer so I had some room to work with. And I tacked the back, and then I pulled the center piece through and tacked it up here. And then I just pulled the pant leg around to where I needed it. And so if you wanted it a little baggier, you could do that. It's going to be kind of in a triangle. If that's okay, you can cut off whatever you don't need. And sort of wrapped it around like that. And I just cut off the excess and hot glue it around there however tight you want it. I'm going to leave it a little bit baggier because he does have kind of baggy pants. This one got a little bit big. It kind of looks like bell bottoms, but that's okay. So I have him over here. So I'm going to take his arm, and I can measure the sleeve. I might not need it to glue all that together. I might have to cut it apart actually. I think I'm going to. I usually leave him a little bit longer so I can glue it up on his shoulder like I did on this one. just do however much he needs to do. So his arm's bent. It looks a little short, but they were the same when I started. Maybe I'll go a little shorter, so just a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to pull that up about wherever I need it there. And I'm going to cut a little bit of this off because it's going to stick out with my shirt. Or you can fold it under and glue it, however you want to do it. There's some better scissors here. Okay, something like that. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. So I'm going to cut this a little bit off. And I'm trying to turn that seam so it's around the back. Cut just a little bit right here off. I'm going to glue it close to his shoulder, so if I need to cut anything else off, I can. Right there. Yep, I might go ahead and trim that just a little bit more. Okay, so I have both of his sleeves are on there. So I'm going to measure this out real quick. So I have that. I have the piece that's going to go under here. I'm going to fold that over so that'll go there. So on this side, I'm going to fold that. And then it looks like his armpit's right there. I'm going to make a cut to that point. So straight from the edge there. Remember, you can always cut more, so be sure to check it before you chop everything off. And I can tuck that under too. So that'll be pretty good. Okay. I'm going to do that part last because for his outfit, his shirt comes over his pants. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the pants. So I did one side. I'm going to figure out the other side here. So this, I think I'm going to end up cutting in an angle, and I folded the under piece already. I did this, but then I forgot that it's going to be at an angle, so maybe don't do that part yet. And try to go somewhere in there. So I'm going to cut a little bit of this off. You can leave it on and tuck it up in there if you want to. So I think I'm going to, you can, if you want the pants to be tighter, you could just glue it right to the leg like that. I left them a little bit more loose. And I think I actually might even redo the other side. So I'm going to keep this upper part tight. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. And then figure out where that's going to go. And I could, since I want that loose anyway, I could just tack it to the back of his leg. And when I pull it, just don't pull it super tight. Somewhere in there. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'll redo his other side too. And then I'm gonna roll up this other side because now it's at an angle, so it looks a little different. I think that leg looks pretty good. I'm gonna redo this other side though later. Knock that off. It's okay. We're gonna pleat this up so I don't have to redo the bottom, and that's okay. Okay, so that side looks pretty good. And I'm gonna redo the shirt. Or I guess finish the shirt. So we're gonna tuck that side under. I'm gonna tack that down now. Okay. Everything looked pretty good with that. Fold that under so we have a seam for the top of his shirt like that. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and tack this side down. I think I'm not gonna connect it to his pants since I'm going to work on those again a little bit later after I finish this. And then I'll just fold that side down. Okay. Oops. I'm gonna trim that part off. I didn't tuck it under very good. So make sure you watch that. Tuck this one under and pull this side under too. Should fold that just a little bit. Leave that just a little bit baggy because that's how his shirt is. I'm going to glue it in here and I'm going to trim off that extra fabric. Fold that under. And he's got his other side of his shirt. Okay. So I might touch them up a little bit, but for the most part, not looking too bad.